Okay, here's something new to the gear list. It's a universal power bank holder. I'm getting tired of having to gaffer tape this to the tripod whenever I need to do a long format recording. So let's see what this entails. As far as what is in the box, that's pretty much it. So you get the actual battery holder itself, and this should be the two screws and the Allen wrench you need to mount this on the different mounting points of this particular camera cage. Because of the orientation of the mounting holes, I'm gonna have to mount it parallel to the camera because there's just no way I can mount it here because there just aren't any mounting holes that go in the other direction. All of them are pretty much in line parallel to the camera. So if I were to put it here, that might be a good option for it. It's just I'm worried about the cable. Now this would interfere with the buttons. Oh, FYI, for my purposes, whenever I do a long recording format, I typically have the camera on a tripod, and I typically don't manipulate it already. I just have it set to one aperture, one shutter, one. There's no changing settings when I'm doing a long recording format. Typically, it's an open mic or a performance of a particular local artist that we have here in Las Vegas. So it's just set it and done type of situation. So that's my purpose. This looks like a very good place to put it. That way it doesn't interfere with anything, because if I put it here, I won't be able to access the audio port. Yeah, that's going to be difficult for this side. The bottom's reserved for the tripod mount, so here it is. It's going to be mounted right here to the side. Okay, so here it is disassembled. The two screws, the Allen wrench, and the battery holder itself. So let's try mounting this. So I'm thinking it's going to be like this. Oops. Looks like the inside is threaded to some degree. It's just going to be a matter of lining it up. I'm probably going to line it up to the bottommost portion right here. There we go. Yeah, that looks about right. Now the only other issue I'm going to have is cable interference. As soon as you introduce cables into a camera system, you start blocking ports. You start blocking the operation of the swivel screen. You start interfering with the buttons right here. So I'm going to have to get creative with cables. Thankfully, I do have a variety of cables, L shapes, whatever. Let's see. Oh. Now let's put the lens later. Okay, the USB-C port is going to be right there. So let's see what variety of this looks like. That's a little tricky. Maybe closer to the top. Oh, there you go. That looks like a winner right there. I can still access the audio port. The changing cards is not going to be an issue for me because typically I have I generally don't change cards out in the field. And this, there is some interference with the swivel screen because as you can see there, the cable does stop it from rotating. But then again, like I said, I generally don't do any setting changes or any sort of card changes out in the field when I'm doing a gig. So that looks like a viable plan. Is it charging? Yeah, it's charging. Looks like it is charging. Let's see what it looks like with the 28F2. Seems to be working. It doesn't see, it's not catching the edge of this battery pack right here. This is the 10,000 milliamp battery pack, by the way. In my experience, the Z batteries typically last me 30 to 40 minutes. A 10,000 milliamp battery, I think I can go, depending on lighting conditions, depending on what I'm doing, if I'm not focusing too much or racking focus too much, or my ISO, I think I can get 2 to 3 hours out of this 10,000 milliamp battery. So about I'd say a good solid 3 hours to when it's loaded with the Z battery and also the 10,000 milliamp battery. That's typically what I'd be getting as far as a length of recording time that I'm doing, which is plenty for an open mic or a performance by a local artist. Those things typically don't last more than 2.5 hours, and if it's an open mic, there's breaks in between. So this will typically last me the entire night. So there you go. This looks like is going to be my new setup instead of having to tape this battery pack to the tripod that I've been doing. I normally just use gaffer tape and just tape this battery pack to one of the legs.